Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're trying out yarn from Walmart, specifically the Mainstays Velvety Soft yarn. So of course, this started with a trip to Walmart. I wanted to see what they had in stock as far as yarn and crochet hooks and other supplies, especially since Joann is closing so many stores and they went bankrupt. A lot of us are going to be checking out other stores nearby like Walmart, Dollar Tree. I know for some, Joann was the only craft store in town. So I thought I'd go ahead and save you a trip and show you what you can find there at Walmart. And I'll also be reviewing the yarn I bought, which was one of the Mainstays brand yarns, which is the Walmart brand. So as you can see, they have quite a bit of yarn for just having one aisle. I feel like they had a good variety. You know, they had a lot of Bernat blanket, and they had Red Heart, of course, some Lion brand, a little bit of everything. They had worsted weight chenille yarn, cotton yarn, a good variety. And then the yarn that I ended up buying on this trip to Walmart was their brand, the Mainstays, and this was a soft velvety yarn, and I just got the color white. That way I could really try it out with different projects. This is a size 5 bulky yarn. So this skein of yarn comes with 315 yards, and I don't remember the exact price, but it was somewhere around $7.49 and $7.99, so just a little under $8. So I thought that was a fairly good deal. This yarn is so soft and smooth, and it even has like a nice shine to it. As soon as I got this yarn, I was just couldn't wait to try it, and hopefully it'll work out because I use white yarn for a lot of my projects that I sell on Etsy, so I'm constantly running out. And then the other thing I noticed was this the look and feel reminded me so much of Juicy Couture yarn, which is one of my top favorites. And Juicy Couture yarn is only sold at Joann. Like online, you can't even find it like on Amazon or anything. So that's what I was thinking about. Like if Joann closes, like will Michael's or another store have Juicy Couture yarn, or could you buy it online? I don't know, because it's one of my favorites. So that's what I immediately noticed. So as soon as I got home, the one on the left is Juicy Couture, and that's in the color Angel. I had a little bit left, which is their white color. And then on the right is the Mainstay Soft Velvety yarn. And they look almost identical. I think the one on the right, the Walmart one, is like a little more white. The Juicy Couture is like has a tiniest hint of ivory, but it's still a true white color. But they feel exactly the same and they look the same too. So I'm really excited that I found a dupe for Juicy Couture yarn. The only downside is Juicy Couture comes in a lot of colors and really fun colors. This Mainstays yarn, I think they only had white, gray, black, and they had one more color. I forgot. I'll look online and I'll link everything in the description box. But they were very limited on color selection. So now it's time to put the yarn to the test. The first test is the magic ring test. As you know, a lot of velvet yarns, chenille yarns, they fail this magic ring test. When you pull the yarn shut, it breaks apart or it gets stuck and you can't fully make that magic circle. So let's give this a try and see what happens. Alright, so here we are, the moment of truth. Let's see if this yarn breaks or what happens. I feel like you had to give it a pretty good tug, but it came together fairly smoothly. But look how nice this circle is. Doesn't it just look perfect? So it passed the magic ring test, so that was exciting. And while I was crocheting, I noticed, similar to the Juicy Couture yarn, it is kind of hard to see your stitches while you're crocheting. It's not super difficult, but since it's so fluffy and soft, it can be hard at times to really see the stitches. But once you're finished, the stitch definition is really nice. But as you can see when you hold it to the side, it's so hard to see those stitches. And as I was crocheting, I also noticed that this yarn is so soft and it's so easy to work with. It is just really smooth. It's like a dream. It didn't hurt my hands at all. And then the skein of yarn, like so far I haven't seen any knots or anything in it, which that's kind of annoying when there's a lot of knots in your yarn. But so far this didn't have any, and like I said, it was really easy to work with. And yeah, it didn't cause me any pain. And then it wasn't one of those really tough yarns that's like so difficult. There was no difficulty at all, other than like it being kind of hard to see the stitches. I feel like it is beginner friendly other than that. So let's continue crocheting our plushie and see what happens, see how it turns out. And the pattern I'm crocheting is a free Instagram pattern. I'll link it down below. It's a baby duck in white. I already crocheted it before in yellow. I always use a pattern that I've done before when I'm testing a new yarn. That way I could see how the yarn works. It's kind of hard if it's a new yarn and a new pattern, but this way I could just focus on the yarn and not worry so much about the ins and outs of the pattern. And then while I was crocheting, I just had to like stop and take a look, because isn't this just like the perfect circle, especially in the center where the magic circle was? Like, it just turned out really nice. Like, that's how easy it was to work with. There was no difficulties. But now it's time for another test, and that is the sewing test. So many velvet and chenille yarns, they rip the moment you start sewing with them. And so far, as soon as I threaded the needle, the yarn went in nice and smoothly. It didn't get caught in anything or rip at all. And then while I was sewing together the head to the body and the rest of the plushie, I couldn't help but notice the same thing, that the yarn wasn't ripping. It wasn't getting caught in between the stitches. The yarn wasn't shedding. It wasn't making a huge mess everywhere. Because I feel like we've all had those yarns before where they crochet really nicely, and then at the last part where you got to sew the pieces together, it's just a huge mess. The yarn breaks. That did not happen here. So I was really happy about that. Even though you can always sew with a different yarn, or some even sew with thread, it's nice when you could do it with the yarn you're already using. It's all in one. So overall, I was really impressed with this yarn. It was easy to make the magic ring. It was easy to crochet with and easy to sew with. No difficulty or anything. The only downside is the colors. It only comes in about 4 colors or so. I wish it came in more, because it is definitely a dupe for that Juicy Couture yarn. So let me know if you're going to try this yarn, or maybe you already tried it before. And I also want to show you how the plushie turned out. I thought it turned out adorable. I already tried this pattern before, so it was one I was familiar with. That way I could just focus on the yarn and not focus on the pattern. I thought it turned out so nice. Please comment below if you want to try this pattern. It's a free pattern, so I'll link it below. And thank you guys again so much for watching my channel. Comment below what you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.